Now, wait a minute, Shakur Stevenson. Now you sounding like me. Ladies and gentlemen, in Shakur Stevenson's recent tweet in reference to a possible fight with him and Naoya Inoue, Shakur Stevenson tweeted, "He too small. It wouldn't be fair." Hold on, Shakur, because when we had an interview and I presented the possibility of you fighting Naoya Inoue, you said that it was a good fight. And look, me and Shakur Stevenson was debating the possibility of the fight that did took place in reference to Canelo Alvarez versus Bud Crawford. And I thought my initial feeling was that Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez wasn't a good fight. That I feel like Bud Crawford moving up 3 division practically was not a good move. And I thought it was going to be a mismatch. Well, I was wrong. I ate my crow. And I still owe Shakur Stevenson 1,000 push-ups. But Shakur Stevenson was arguing that, that's a good fight. Give Bud Crawford the opportunity to dare to be great. And then I gave that example to debunk that feeling, right? Or that opinion. What about if I'll say, Naoya Inoue moving 3 division up to face you? Would that be fair? He was like, basically, that would be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? That would be a good fight. And I'm like, come on now. But now, Shakur Stevenson in his recent tweet is sounding like me. He too small. It wouldn't be fair. So what was the change of heart? But let's take it back when we had that interview when we was debating about a possible fight between himself and Naoya Inoue.
It's good with going up.
Hey, yo, Inoue is good, but I ain't going to say go fight Shakur Stevenson at 135.
You said who?
Inoue.
But if he says he want to fight me at 35, why not make it happen? I wouldn't mind it.
Man, you the massive favorite on that one.
Because of the odds, but I'm just telling you,
because
if he says that, then like what am I knocking it for?
Oh, so you telling me Inoue says I want to fight Shakur Stevenson?
I'm saying yes.
Let's do it. Let's go. Get out of here. Get out of here. Jumping from 100, what he at right now? 122 pounds.
Yep. Yo, he beat Scooter, right? Yeah. Me and Scooter is not that far apart in like weight. Like I done had Scooter come to like my gym. Well, I ain't have him, but he done came to like my gym in Houston, and I see him and we're standing next to each other, and we're literally not that far apart.
I mean, he got all the skills in the world. You got all the skills. Y'all both pound for pounds, but I'm not gonna ask no Inoue, yo, go out there and fight Shakur Stevenson.
I'm just saying, if he say it, then I'm with it.
It's legit. You will find that a legit fight.
Hey, if that's what he said, I mean, shit, why not? If I don't get the credit for it, I don't get the credit for it. But at the end of the day, I ain't gonna get the credit for a lot of fights. So fuck it, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, skills win fights and weight don't, man.
So you can see there has been a change of heart for Shakur Stevenson in reference to fighting, not fighting Naoya Inoue. Of course, times changed. Maybe he went up to the 140-pound division. He beat Teofimo Lopez, and now he feel like, probably now it's really unfair. You know what I'm saying? But I think that Shakur Stevenson still wanting to go back down to the 135-pound division. Now, Inoue just messaged or put it on social media that he's willing to fight 2 more fights in the current division that he's in. He's going to be facing Nakatani and then moving up to the featherweight division. Could Shakur Stevenson still make 126 pounds? I don't think so. It'll still be a huge fight. It could be a huge fight in America. It could be a huge fight out there in Tokyo. Could there be a catchweight between the featherweight and super featherweight? You know what I'm saying? Maybe the 130, maybe 129, 128. I don't know. Shakur Stevenson did lost his strap prior to the Consocial fight because he missed weight. But look, Shakur Stevenson is not really a big guy like that. He's been a traditionally featherweight throughout his whole career, but he's older now. But Naoya Inoue, I believe that it could be a great fight with him and Bam Rodriguez, but Bam Rodriguez will have to move up. I think that would be the ultimate fight for Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez in the pound-for-pound list as well. Top 5 arguably. Shakur Stevenson, top 5, arguably. I think the main fight for Naoya Inoue will be Bam Rodriguez, in my opinion. And for Shakur Stevenson, of course, I still want to see a Gervonta Tan Davis in the 135-pound division. But he did so good in the 140-pound division. I still have probably Shakur Stevenson beating everybody in the 140. Even if it goes to 147-pound division, I probably got Shakur Stevenson beating everybody, man. I can't see this man losing. I said when the smoke clears, in reference to the potential 4 kings that we was all marketing, right? Well, of course, Shakur Stevenson was part of the 4 Kings, but Fab 5, because really it was supposed to be Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo Lopez, because Shakur Stevenson was not in the mix early on. Everybody was in lightweight division. But Shakur Stevenson, of course, was like the Fab 5, like a Wilfred Benitez. I'm not saying that he's the Wilfred Benitez. It seems like Shakur Stevenson is the Sugar Ray Leonard, Now, but hopefully Naoya Inoue, you know what I'm saying? If he does want, look, he's already selling out arenas in Tokyo. He does not need to come over here like many try to shame him in these social media platforms. Like, oh, he got to fight an American fighter. He did fall. He fought Stephen Fulton and knocked Stephen Fulton out. And I knew that Naoya Inoue was going to win, but I didn't think he was going to win that easy versus Stephen Fulton, which at the time, prior to the fight, I did have Stephen Fulton on number 10 on my pound-for-pound list because, of course, Juan Francisco Estrada was in it, but the inactivity had him out. So I put Stephen Fulton on the pound-for-pound list. So, look, boxing is good 2026. I think Inoue is going to beat Nakatani. Will Naoya Inoue chin hold up if he moves up 2 division up or to the super featherweight division or featherweight division? I don't know. He does have vulnerability when it comes to the chin, but but he has massive character in weathering the storm and coming right back and beating his opponent like he did Luis Neri, right? So I think in the history of the sport of boxing, mismatches has been, or not, I'm not going to say mismatches, but the difference between the weight and sizes and all that stuff has been the mega fights in the history of the sport of boxing. Even in the heavyweight division, when you have guys like Muhammad Ali, the young Cassius Clay versus Sonny Liston, right? Even in the heavyweight division, the discrepancy of weight has been look at Usyk versus Tyson Fury. If you look at the weight, it's supposed to be some type of mismatch in terms of weight. Look at Roberto Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler and Hearns. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler. You understand what I'm trying to say? So a lot of mega fights in the sport of boxing is just not same weight classes, same size and stuff like that. No, look at Terrence Bud Crawford, like we was talking about earlier, versus Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? Like his big fight, of course, was Earl Spence, same size and things of that nature. But then he went up 3 division up and he did the incredible. We could say the same thing about Canelo Alvarez, 4 division. We could say the same thing about Floyd Mayweather. We could say the same thing about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao going to fight Margarito, that's not the same size, same height, or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And these are mega fights. Even Hopkins versus Oscar De La Hoya, mega fight. So not every fight is the same size. A lot of the great fights is that small guy daring to be great, whether he overcomes the big target, the bigger man. Pause. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes greatness. And I think that the boxing fans historically give more credit to that fighter that dares to be great, or that fighter that exceeds the expectations in the sport of boxing. Look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the youngest, but also the smallest heavyweight at the time. He was beating grown men, but grown men that was taller, bigger than him and stuff like that. So I think that's why a lot of fans love Roberto Duran and probably rank Roberto Duran higher than the Hearns and the Haglers, because, yes, he still lost to them, but the difficulties and daring to be great and still holding his own in some of the fights, not all the fights, because he did get knocked out by Hearns early on, you know what I'm saying? But he did go the whole decision with Hagler, So And look at Manny Pacquiao, 8th Division World Champion, 5-time lineal, 12-time World Champion, the ambassador, the senator, the humanitarian, the greatest karaoke singer of them all, the GOAT, Manny Pacquiao. As a matter of fact, speaking about Shakur Stevenson went to the 140-pound division and beat Teofimo Lopez, who was the king at the time in the 140-pound division. So, in boxing, you have to most of the great fights and great historic moments was the weight discrepancy, is the little guy trying to defeat the bigger guy. Both Inoue and Shakur Stevenson are 4th Division World Champion. Are we asking Inoue to go more up? Are we asking Shakur Stevenson to go to the 147? But that's how great they are.